Conan Exiles Enhanced is here, and visually, it's like a whole new game. If you want your own private server for the new Unreal 5 version, GPORTAL now officially supports it and allows you to upgrade directly through their server settings. I'm Benny, and in this video, I'll show you how to set up a Conan Exiles Enhanced server with GPORTAL, how to make sure you're running the correct enhanced branch, what settings you should check first, and a few important warnings about mods and save files. A quick note before we start, I have a GPORTAL affiliate link in the description below. If you decide you want to rent a server, you can get 10% off through that link while also helping support the channel. And lastly, if you don't already have the game, I've got a link to that in the description as well. First things first, you'll need to create an account or log in down here if you haven't already. Once that's done, if you see the game listed over here, feel free to click on it. I'm going to show you the long way to get there just in case you don't see it listed on the home page. First, click Rent a Server up here on the left. At this screen, again, if you don't see the game listed at the top section, scroll down and start typing the game into the search box. When the game appears, click on Conan Exiles Enhanced PC. You're going to do this even if you're not looking for the enhanced version. This is where you go for the PC version, period. Now you can choose any of the packages here or go to custom. As of today, GPORTAL currently offers Conan Exiles Enhanced servers with between 10 and 70 players total. If you select more than that, you would need to divide those slots between multiple servers. Now, just because 70 slots are available does not necessarily mean that you should use 70 players concurrently. Conan Exiles can be a pretty heavy game, and server performance depends on player count, mods, base sizes, number of thralls, and world activity in general. I've seen a number of suggestions saying that 40 is a good limit for the Unreal 5 version of the game. Next, choose your rental period. Note that you do receive better and better discounts the longer the rental, and this should stack with the 10% discount for using my link as well. Pick a server location that is most centrally located to your players. And if everything looks good, go ahead and click Continue. Next, you'll be on the payment screen. Here you can set up your payment method. I already have credit, but feel free to choose whichever method works for you. Once completed, do a final check, and if everything looks good, hit Continue. Once the server is created, you'll be taken to the server status page. Here you can see the server load and all that information, FTP access data, and game server files section. In this section, you can choose to restart for updates, verify game files, do a factory reset, and delete all save games. Alright, let's switch over to basic settings now. Before we change any settings, you should always make sure the server is stopped first. It won't be running when you first rent the server, but it's still a good idea to get in the habit of checking. This is where you'll configure your server name, password, admin password, and most importantly, the server branch. And that's the very first setting you're going to come to is branch selection. Now, if you already have an Unreal 4 game going and you want to switch to Enhanced, all you need to do is change this setting from Legacy to Enhanced and click the Migrate and Save Settings from Legacy button. Once it's completed, you'll see a message like this. Green means you're good to go. There's also a setting to run your server on the latest test branch. You can do that at your own risk. If this is a new server and you're looking to play the enhanced version, then just leave this at enhanced. Also, this is an important note. As of today, Conan Exiles Enhanced is currently only for Steam PC. Enhanced is not currently supported on Epic Game Store or console version. Now let's configure your basic settings. Here we're going to pick the name. Number of slots. And next, select your map. With the release of the enhanced version, our choices will be either exiled or modded. The Isle of Sipta is now accessible from within the exiled lands. So if you own the DLC, you'll no longer have to choose it over the exiled lands game. You can now start in Exiles and you can get to your content, the DLC content, from there. Save game is used to select the game's automatic backup saves if needed. So if you're not using the GPORTAL backup system and you want to use this backup system, or using both and you just want to switch over to the last save game that the game itself made, this is where you can select that. Next, set your server password if you like. And you'll want to set the admin password for sure. Archon is for remote connection to the server. This is outside the scope of this video, but if you're going to use remote administration, here is where that is enabled and the password for that set. I would just leave it disabled for now. Next is login queue, which is pretty self-explanatory, and disconnect grace time. Disconnect grace time is how long a character remains in the world on disconnect. This allows the player to jump back in if they're suddenly disconnected without having to go back into the queue. Next is your nudity setting. This is the max allowed on the server. So if I set it to none, then all clients are going to be fully censored. If you set it to full, then each client can determine their own level of acceptable nudity. Next is BattlEye. If this server is password protected for friends only and you aren't worried about cheating, then I suggest disabling BattlEye, just to conserve resources. But if you're going to be letting the public in or people you don't necessarily trust, I just leave it on. Next is server community. This is just a description of your server playstyle, so when people do a search, they can try to find something that matches them best. If this is just a private server, this and the next few settings don't really matter. Server region is similar to the community setting. It's just telling people about where people in this server are located. Next is the primary language. I'm going to set mine to English. It just tells people that are searching for a game how to find a game that's got the same people speaking the same language. Here's where you can set the message of the day, and I'm just going to update this quick. And there we go. Next is max ping. I'm leaving this disabled for my group, but if you were going to have issues, with the public coming in and you want to restrict that, this is where you do it. Enable whitelist if you need it. Next, allowed family shared account means that someone who doesn't own the game but is sharing with a family member can still play. This can cause problems on a public server where it can be used to circumvent a ban and that sort of thing. So for private servers with people it's fine to leave it on. But if you're going to be, running a public server, you may want to consider turning it off if you're having a problem with people being banned and then coming back somehow. All right, next is creative mode setup. And again, this is pretty self-explanatory. We all know what creative mode is. This just gets you the ability to decide who can get to it. And last in this section is the net server max tick rate. This is basically the number of times per second that the server updates. Lower setting means more lag and rubber banding. Higher means more server hardware demand. 60 is probably just fine, but it's something you can play around with if you find you're having issues. Next, we have the broadcast message, which is also pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to go off at an interval that you set. And after that, we get into the extended settings. This video would go on way too long. It's already going to be a little bit long if we had to explain all of these. So there's a huge number of available settings here to allow you to adapt your server to your desired playstyle. Most are pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll see what I can do to get you an answer. Once you have finished with the basic settings, go ahead and hit save at the bottom. Next, let's talk mods. Conan Exiles has excellent Steam Workshop mod support, and GPORTAL supports Steam Workshop integration directly through the server interface, which is really nice. But please be warned, old Unreal Engine 4 mods do not automatically work with Conan Exiles Enhanced. So if you're migrating an old server or loading an old mod list, don't assume that these mods are compatible. Check every Steam Workshop mod page carefully for recent updates, UE5 compatibility, and if still in doubt, current comments from other players. Personally, I'd recommend launching the server vanilla first, confirming stability, and then adding mods one at a time. That makes troubleshooting much easier if something breaks. An easy way to find compatible mods at this time is to go to the Steam Workshop, then here on the right, scroll down to the bottom and choose Enhanced from the version dropdown. Find a mod you like, click on it, then copy the full name. Return to your server page and paste the name into the search bar. Now you have a known compatible mod available to add to your server. Please note that mods are totally at your own risk, and neither myself nor GPORTAL can offer support for the mods themselves. One last thing before we start up and connect to the server is auto restarts and backups. Auto restarts and backups are important to keeping the server running smoothly and keeping your data safe in case something goes wrong. Before we enable auto backups though, we need to first enable auto restart. So click on restarts under administration on the left and set an interval. I prefer daily. Then set a time that's most convenient to your players, which is 4 a.m. for me. Next, enter a description if you want. I'm not going to bother. And then click save. Right here, you'll see a list of any auto restarts you have set up. Once you've finished with that, click on backups, again under administration on the left. Now you can just switch on auto backups. Every time the server restarts, it will automatically create a backup. Your backups are going to be listed here, and restoring is going to be as simple as clicking a button. You can also create manual backups here if needed. Now finally, once setup is complete, we're going to go ahead and start the server. Give it a few minutes to fully come online. After that, launch Conan Exiles Enhanced through Steam. Click on Play Online, and then search for your server by name in the in-game browser. Over on the right, you may need to check the Show Private Servers or Show Servers with Mods if you have those installed. If you don't see it, you may need to wait 5 or 10 minutes for the browser to pick up the server. It doesn't always do it right away. If it's still not appearing after 10 minutes, verify the branch settings are correct and check that the status in GPORTAL shows that the server is running. You can also direct connect using the IP and port. Just copy the string here, then go back to the game, click down here, and then paste your IP port string here. Enter the password you used if you used one, and you're all ready to go. Once you've joined your server and created a character, you may want admin access. This does give you access to all of the cheats, so don't invoke it lightly. Open the settings menu in game, go to server, and then admin section. Click on Make Me an Admin, and enter the password that you set for the admin earlier. On the left will be a short pop-up telling you you are now an admin. It is easy to miss. Once admin is enabled, you'll have access to server management tools and admin commands. If you don't see that right away, escape all the way back out till you're out of the menu, and then hit the escape button to get back into the menu again, and you should see this stuff appear. You'll be able to change server settings here. And if you back out to the escape menu like so, you'll see admin panel options here. There are tons of options in here to choose from, way too many for me to describe, but most are either self-explanatory or you'll be able to look them up pretty easily. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. If you already have a local single-player or dedicated Conan Exiles world, you can easily move it to GPORTAL. Basically, the process is stop the server, find the saved folder on your local machine, upload the saved folder using GPORTAL's file manager, and then restart the server. A few warnings here though. Don't delete your local save, at least not until after we've confirmed everything is up and running normally on the server. Make sure your save matches the branch settings. So if you have a legacy save, set the server to legacy under basic settings. Then you can convert it to enhanced once you have it moved over. And make sure that any mods match before running the server. If you're removing an existing legacy game and planning to upgrade to enhanced, you may have to remove mods first. It'll be up to you to research which mods are going to be fine and which ones are incompatible. So here's what you need to do. First, find your local saved folder. If you are moving files from an existing server or host, then I'm going to assume you already know where you downloaded those to. It should be in a directory under Conan Exiles /ConanSandbox. On your local machine, it'll be in your install drive folder under Program Files /Steam /steamapps /common /Conan Exiles /ConanSandbox. Or if it's easier, open up Steam, find Conan Exiles under your Library tab, click on the gear icon, then Manage, and click on Browse Local Files. From here, click on ConanSandbox. Once in your ConanSandbox directory, minimize this window. We'll get back to it in a minute. On your server page, make sure that the server is stopped. Go to the File Manager on the left. Go to ConanSandbox and then Saved. If you've previously run the server, you'll see a bunch of files here. You're going to want to reset the server before we go to uploading a save. You can do that by using the Factory Reset button on the status page. What you might see here is a config directory and blacklist.txt file. Those are fine to leave there. If everything looks good, back out to the ConanSandbox directory. When you're ready, click on Upload. Now bring back the file window you minimized earlier. Drag the saved folder into the upload window. Wait for the upload to complete, and you're done. Next, go to Basic Settings and set up the server settings like we discussed earlier. Once saved, start the server and test the connection. Now let's talk about troubleshooting. The first place you should check is the pinned comment down in the comment section and possibly in the upper part of the video description, where if I have any major changes or anything like that, I'm going to put those there. First of all, if your server's not appearing in the list, go ahead and check to make sure your server's online. It happens a lot. Confirm that the branches match. So the branch of the client you're using versus the branch of the server. Make sure that they're either both enhanced or they're both legacy. And you also got to remember you may need to give the server 5 or 10 minutes to actually appear in the list. It can take a little bit. If your players are having a hard time connecting, check the passwords and make sure all that matches. Verify that they have the same version, the enhanced version or the legacy version. Verify that the mods match, and test temporarily without mods if needed. You could try adding them back in one at a time as necessary. Mods are currently one of the most common causes of issues after the enhanced update branch selection thing. Also remember that GPORTAL has a top-notch customer support team, and support tickets are really easy to initiate and check the status of from the support section over here on the left. And that's the basic setup process for setting up a Conan Exiles Enhanced server with GPORTAL. If the video helped, I would greatly appreciate a like and a sub. Again, for 10% off your server rental, check out the link in the description. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions, issues, tips, or anything like that for server setup. And special thanks, as always, to my channel members for their support. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Benny out.